Good morning or good evening. Today we're going to be learning about meiosis. I'm your host Sam Postak and I'll be taking you through this hopefully fun lesson. First, there was darkness. Then you emerged from the womb. Pause. We're a little too ahead for this meiosis lesson, so let's go back a little bit. And that's a little too far back. A little bit forward and a closer look, please. Perfect. Egg meets sperm. And when the egg does meet the sperm and they combine, this is going to give us 46 homologous chromosomes or 23 homologous chromosome pairs. Now, the sperm by itself has 23 of these chromosomes, and the egg by itself also has 23 of these chromosomes. Both the egg and the sperm are what we call haploid cells because they only have half the amount instead of 46. Again, they only have 23. Now, what is meiosis? Good question, Mini-Me. That is what we are here for this lesson today. You did spell meiosis wrong. Okay, my bad. I spelled meiosis wrong. But meiosis is very similar to something else that we know as mitosis. Now, mitosis is going to be the replication of cells where we only have two. In meiosis, we want a total of 4 different cells. But, since it is different, we don't do it once. We don't do it thrice, but we do the whole process a total of 2 times. Similar to mitosis, we do have the interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. But one of the main different things that happen is what's going to happen during our prophase phase. What is going to be called the crossover. Now, the crossover is when our little, we have our double chromosomes, they line up. The mom ones are going to line up with the ones that you got from your dad. And when they get tangled up, they are going to trade genetic code. Now, this trade of genetic code is what we call recombination. And recombination is going to be super duper important because it is what, gives us variety. It's the reason that we do reproduction in this way in the first place. Instead of having exact copies, we get this variation. Unlike asexual reproduction, where we are going to have the same copies, the recombination allows us to have all these different variations, which is incredibly important. Because even though it just comes from those 2 gene pools, we do have the ability to mix them up. So once again, this is what it's going to look like. We have our interphase 1 part. Let me go back. Interphase 1, where the key factors in the cells kind of like duplicate, leaving 2 copies. We have our prophase 1, where the DNA clumps into the chromosomes and each chromosome gets linked into a double chromosome. So now in metaphase 1, they're going to line up the homologous pairs. In anaphase 1, our homologous pairs are then going to be pulled apart. And in telophase, we're going to have the nucleus membrane reform, and also that is when we separate the cells into the 2 different cells. But once again, like I said in before, meiosis, we want to have 4 different cells. So that means round 2, baby. Interphase 2. Lies. There is no interphase 2. We do not need to replicate that DNA, so we go straight to prophase number 2. Also, we do want single-strand chromosomes, not the double. So in prophase 2, we have our DNA clump into the chromosomes. In metaphase 2, the chromosomes are going to line up the middle of the cells. Anaphase 2, our chromatids are pulled apart into separate single chromosomes. And then, boom, telophase 4, we have 4 separate new cells, each of them having 23 chromosomes each. Now, with these 4 cells, there are 2 different options that we could have. Either it's going to be turning into a sperm or an egg. If it is for sperm, all of our little guys, they're going to be the same size, but with slightly genetic code, and half is going to be for the boys, while half of them can turn into females. Now, for the egg, it's a little bit different. When that separation does happen in telophase 2, one of them is going to have a little bit more extra juice, more of the genetic goodness, more of the goodness that goes into it, and that's what's going to cause our egg to happen. It's going to be bigger, and the smaller pieces that are left behind are what we're going to call polar bodies, and yeah, that was our little crash course into meiosis. I hope you were able to learn something. But yeah, that's all, folks.